Hello guys, welcome to Solvent Solutions, your number one channel where I get solutions to all your solvent problems. It's nice having you in class again today. How have you been? On today's tutorial, we are going to use this terrain profile plugin to compare two surfaces, right? Good. Now we have pre and post here. They are actually data on the same point, but their difference is in their elevation field. So if we open up the attributes table, we have the coordinates in longitude, latitude, and then the altitude, right? Good. So their differences, their difference is actually in their their elevation value. So we want to use this tool to now create a surface that looks like this, right? Good. Which compares the two surfaces, so you can know by visual perception that you have a surface under and then a surface at top, right? Good. So you can also compare their relationship. Good. So you come up to plugin. We already have it installed. You go to manage and install plugins. You need to ensure that you are connected to the internet. So we have terrain profile, right, which is this, right? So this plots profile lines from raster or point vector layer with elevation field, right? Good. So you install it if it's not installed. So since we already have it installed, we can bring it up. Now before we use it, we can decide to also create a raster data from this point. So by creating the raster data is just by either using any of the interpolation method. So we try to search for thin, which is thin interpolation, right? Good. So you can either use the thin interpolation to generate a triangulated irregular network of the point vector layer we have, or you can directly use the point vector layer. So the profile tool, this terrain profile tool accepts, it accepts both the raster data you create from that interpolation or the point data that you have here, right? Good. So whatever approach, we might consider the both approaches. So let's still come up to this and then open up the thing. Then we have, let's say we start with the pre, right? Good. And then the interpolation attribute is the altitude. We are going to add it, right? We are going to add it. Then let's see, we are using the linear method, and then the extent, let's use this from layer. So we are working with pre, right? Good. So they have both they both have the same extent, so this can go and then we can run. So this was for the pre, right? Good. So we can decide to come and then introduce a pre here, so that we can have a distinction between the two interpolated results. Then we still come up to the thin interpolation again. Then this time around, our input vector layer will be the post, right? Good. And then the interpolation attribute will still be the altitude. So let me take this out and then re-add the post, right? Good. So we have the post there, and then since they are within the same spatial extent, we are going to still leave the extent as same and every other parameter the way it is, and then we run, right? Good. So we have actually created a surface. We have created two surfaces for the pre and the post, right? Good. So please, if we are a bit fast, you can decide to maybe pause, rewind, and then you would get the full gist. So we have the point vector layer, and then we also have the interpolated raster layer. So this profile tool identifies, it accepts the both of them, right? Good. So let's see if we can work on the symbology. So the symbology, we are using single band pseudo color. Let's use equal intervals, and then let's make this about 3 classes, right? Good. So you can decide to maybe play around with the color ramp to see any other color ramp you want to use, or maybe you can even customize what you already have. Let's go back to the turbo, and then let's make this something reddish, right? Good. So then let's make this maybe bluish a bit, something like this, and all of that. So we now have green or something in between. So it's your choice to maybe configure it the way you want. We still do similar stuff for this single band pseudo color. we make it equal interval of about 3 classes as well, and then we still decide to make this bluish, right? Good. So we make this bluish, and then we make this more reddish, right? Good. So when we have this, and then we can decide to click on OK. So we have changed, or we have reconfigured the symbology. Now let's come up to this profile tool. Now it plots profile lines from raster layer, right? Good. Or point vector layer. So we are going to use the point layer, and then we're also going to use the raster layer, and then we'll compare our results. So let's say we start with the raster layer. This is the post or the pre, right? Good. So let's start with the pre. So we come up to add layer, right? Good. We have added the pre, right? Good. So we click on the post, and then we also add the post. So if you look very closely, you are going to see what pre and post. Now the color here represents the color that will be drawn very soon. So now let's change this thing to, let's make this red, something like this. So now we have two distinct colors, right? Good. Red and then black. So the red represents the pre, and then the black represents what the post. So this is where the graph will be plotted. So let's say we are trying to draw a line from here to here. So if this is the extent we want to draw a line, we double click. So that we now have what the line drawn. So now when the line has been fixed, you can now see what the profile along that particular line, right? Good. You can see the profile along that particular line. So because we have identified, or we have specified the colors rather, that for the pre it should be red and for the post it should be black, we have seen the two lines that are here. So one is actually overlaying on the other, which gives you what the terrain characteristics of that point. So yours might be elevation data from different sources. Yours might be maybe just like we have the pre and the post, you want to see their relationship. You can also have maybe a dam with sink, and then a dam that has been filled, to see the configuration of how the digital elevation model is, or maybe any other data set that has to do with the elevation value. Now we have this for, okay, as we hover the mouse around our graph, we can see that on the line, we can see that we are seeing the direction of movement, right? Good. So it means that this point actually has about the highest elevation for that's around this area, right? Good. So because of this so you can see the scale. You can see the scale. So I'm zooming in, the exaggeration and the reduction is happening too. So you can see the scale. This represents what the vertical movement, and this represents what the horizontal movement. So let's now also consider the point. So let's say we no longer want to use the raster, we want to use the point. So we click on the pre and then the post of the point, right? Good. So let's say we are starting with the pre, we come to add layer. Now it's asking us, because the point has different fields, which of the fields are we using? We are actually using what the altitude field, right? Good. So we click on OK. Then for the post, it's also asks, okay, let's change that of, okay, we can decide to put this out and also put this out, because we don't need them at the moment, right? Good. Then we can also bring in that of the post. So we have this, and then we are trying to add it, right? Good. So okay, good. So since the colors are the same, let's change the color to, let's say we are using black again, right? Good. So that we can have what a distinction. So you can now see that we are now using the points, but okay, let's put this out and put this out, because we no longer need the raster, right? Good. Now what we are using is the point. So along this line, using the point vector layer, we can see that along this line we don't have some points. The tool is trying to reference to some of the points that are closer, right? Good. So and then it has given us what the configuration, right? Good. So you can now see that we are still using the same line. That's why when we imputed the pre and the post of the points, you still see the terrain plotted, right? Good. So if you hover your mouse around it, you are still going to see how the undulation of the terrain runs, right? Good. So this is for the black, which is the post, and then this is for the red, which is the pre. So we have shown you two methods on how to use this terrain profile plugin in QGIS to compare two surfaces, right? Good. To compare two surfaces, we use the raster, and then we are now using what the vector, which is the point. So thanks for coming to class. Depending on whatever output you want to achieve and then the presentation method you want to use, you can decide to employ any of them. Now you can see we have put off all of them. We can decide to put on the raster back, which is the first output that we have. So we are going to see you on the next tutorial. Ensure you keep staying safe and have a very good time. Bye.